though. Or my Game Boy.
You ever mess around with like virtual machines or anything like that?
I do.
Honestly, it's like I don't remember how to do it, but I think it's pretty fun. Like whenever I did it in high school, because I did it for like a class of multiple times. Like we would go on a Linux virtual network as like on our Windows machines. I thought it was pretty fun. I liked it. I think it's really cool. It opens up a lot, you know, like because there's things that Linux can do that Windows can't.
Honestly, a Nuzlocke sounds kind of fun right now, but like that's a commitment and a half right there, and I don't know which game I want to do.
I'm getting into bioinformatics, and so all that stuff's on Linux, so I'm pretty comfortable now on virtual machines and virtual servers and stuff like that. Run everything through Amazon. I have massive servers with like terabytes of RAM cranking out data.
I've thought about getting into that stuff. Like, I've thought about getting into biomedical informatics, and I've thought about getting into computer science, but I don't know. Something just pushes me away from it. Like, not wanting to go, like, spend the time in school, then realize I don't want to do it.
Yeah. I'm afraid about it.
Because that shit requires, like, hella money.
The next thing I'm doing is a PhD program, so I'm like, gotta make sure I pick the right program so I don't just get tired of it like a year in.
You have to do a PhD for your biomedical shit?
Yeah.
I was told it only required at most a master's.
It depends on what you're doing. A lot of what I'm doing, I'm dealing with PhD scientists all the time, so if you are strictly like computer science, then you can get away with a master's, but if you are more on the biology side or more on the chemistry side or something like that, then you need a PhD pretty much.
So I'm gonna guess that you lean more towards one of those things then?
Yeah, so I'm a biology major.
That would be why I think it's just because I was focused a lot on like the computer parts of it.
Yeah. So if you are computer science, then you can get away with a master's. But if you are like a biology researcher or something, then you need a PhD. Because at that point, people just assume that you have a PhD. So if you don't, then you're kind of just at the bottom of the list, whether you need it or not for the job.
Yeah.
You're just on the bottom of the list of resumes because everybody else has one.
Yeah, that's like kind of like the bullshit part of it. Same thing as like high school, right? Like, there's a lot of things in high school that you learn or just forget about, and you don't use it later on in life.
I've probably forgotten good solid like 80% of what I've learned in.
Me too, man. Like, I don't know if I can recall much from like my. I don't know if I can recall much from like my history classes that I had. I don't think
undergraduate too. I probably forgot a solid 75% of what I learned in college because I just don't use it.
That's retarded. Because it's the same. Because I mean, it's the same shit, right? For college, like requiring all this nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, literally, honestly. Even my biology stuff that I am actively working in the biology field, I don't use most of what I learned in school.
Oh, wow.
There's like some key basics,
but
that's about it. Like most of the core degree classes, I don't really use any of it because it's also
insane, dude.
When you get into the field, it's also like specific.
Yeah.
You know, that you hyper focus on one area and the rest of it you're not even really looking at. So
dude, it's like going to college for criminal justice to be a cop. It's not necessary. Yeah. You don't need to do that. You literally learn everything at the academy, so why are you going to college in the first place? I don't understand that. There's like the rumor, I think, that like if you go to school you get paid more at like as a cop or something. I think that's the thing.
I don't think that's a rumor. I think you actually do.
I think that's legit.
They just
They do
pay
that
you
for
more.
military because you can't be
Yeah.
an officer without a bachelor's.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I can understand
I mean,
like
maybe
higher
you
ranks,
can, but
but when you're talking about
You
like a
can't
standard
officer.
infantryman or like a standard soldier, or like a standard officer of the law, like. I mean, I guess they're both very different, right? Because you're talking police versus military. Military is a lot more broad because, like, military, like, you start off. Everybody starts off as a soldier, right? Infantryman. I believe that's
Yeah,
right.
you could go straight in as an officer if you have a degree.
yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Typically speaking, people start off as a soldier, like a rifleman,
Yeah,
rather.
you go
That's
in from,
what I
like-
was looking for.
Yeah,
You go in it from like high school, but if you go in after college, you go straight into their officer school or whatever.
Well, and that's why they
come out as
recruit so
something.
much at high school, is because they're looking for people to just serve on their front lines.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's bullshit though, because they'll tell you that there's like a career waiting for you, but they actually pick that shit for you. That's what they don't tell you.
Yeah.
I think that lying is the fact that they lie is bullshit, but I mean it's kind of like how they get their job because all of the recruiters are based on like rankings on how many people that they recruit. So they do what they can, just reel you in. Lying or honesty. Can't say I haven't thought about going to the military. I just know that, like, physically I don't think I can. I have asthma, and
Yeah.
military mentally isn't for everybody either.
You can join the military and not be in a combat situation.
But I think that a lot of basic stuff, like at least for most branches, you have to pass like
Yeah.
an exam of being able to withstand like tear gas or whatever.
Not tear gas, but
Or you get put in a room,
Yeah,
like you get put in
you
a
have to
room
have
with like
a
different
level of
chemicals.
fitness. Yeah, you just have to have like a level of fitness. You have fitness tests. and
Yeah, fitness
stuff. I
and
was- for a short period of time before I really knew what I was doing, I was considering doing stuff like being a nuclear engineer or something for the military. Because it's all still science. It's all like the same science jobs, but I mean, you get like a military pension and stuff like that, so it's not a terrible idea.
Yeah.
That's what I'm planning on doing, but through cybersecurity as opposed to, nuclear shit.
Yeah.
see, I thought
Yeah, cybersecurity is really good.
Gavin and I were
Honestly,
like the
once you get out of
cybersecurity
the military,
bros in high school.
Cybersecurity translates to so well to industry jobs anyway after you get out of the military.
Yeah.
That's honestly a decent idea.
Yeah, I'm kind of struggling through college now just because the online learning shit has not been helpful.
Oh,
Plus, I've
I
had
can't learn anything online really.
I've had grandparents die like both times I've tried the same semester. So my mental health has been shot.
I
Yeah.
was not necessarily with them during that time, but I witnessed Gavin go through that bullshit, and I guess I vouch. Like that's some bullshit. For
I spent
timing.
like a month. I spent a month with my grandma at hospice, and that was like right before.
Yeah, I
Corona
remember
hit.
that. I
And
remember
it was-
that.
It was when Corona in my head became like when I realized the scale of how bad it was. When my mental health just shot lower than it ever has in my life before.
Did they get the virus, or was it something else?
No, she died like a couple months before it
It was like
came out.
something else.
No,
I-
she had some like infection because she like started to clean her house and she lived with like 3 cats and a dog. So like she kind of just
Lot of
she had like
pets.
an infection and she had broken her back many years ago.
Ooh,
She, like,
shit.
She had little feeling in her lower half of her body. So she actually had no idea. So she died at like 50 something.
Oh wow.
That's kind of young, to be honest.
Yeah.
She was never in the best of shapes. So, I'm not overly surprised. I wasn't expecting to be basically living with her in hospice for a month, but that did happen.
Yeah.
That was awful.
I think that's like all of it's bad, right? To just lose somebody like that, and then I think it's even worse. Like, because I've lost like 2 grandparents, one to a stroke and one to went to like dementia or Alzheimer's. It was Alzheimer's, and
Yeah.
when your grandfather has Alzheimer's, you lose him twice. So because you lose his
Mhm.
mental, like he doesn't know, like because your grandfather like forgets who he is, he forgets where he is, like what he's doing, who you are, and then you lose him physically, like when he dies.
I mean, I've kind of got something like that. Like the grandpa that I see that I'm not related to, but like is my favorite grandparent. His ex-wife has that right now, so it's kind of a mess dealing with that. Because he's still closer because he's good with his daughter and that side of the family, and they're not on awful terms, but it's enough to where I've noticed the dementia like kind of doing its thing. It's rough.
The grandmother I lost was like my biological grandmother, but I hardly ever really like connected or met with her. So like losing her, like obviously like it's family, right? Like it's gonna suck like at least a little bit. But as a child, like I was young when I lost her, so I didn't really like understand that well, I guess. And well, she like it sucked for my mom because she was my mother's mother, even though
I
like
get that.
they weren't close either. But like it still sucked, you know. It sucks to lose a parent, you know. Whether
Yeah,
whether they were close or not, it still sucks.
that was with my grandma. It was rough because me and my mom weren't on the greatest terms with my grandma at the time. Especially my mom and my grandma. They were after years of my grandma trying to take care of us and like be the primary parent figure as opposed to my
See,
mom.
I think that's the similar thing with my current grandma. She's not biological. She's still alive, but she's like I would say narcissistic, controlling. So she tries to be like be the parent mainly of my brother because I don't know why she didn't target me or my sister. I guess I was like the middle child and like she didn't really care much about me like growing up, right? She would always spoil or pay more attention to like my little brother to try and manipulate him into like her ways. You know what I mean?
I get that. I mean, it wasn't split. I think me and my brother had it about even, maybe a little bit more on my brother's side, while I was more close to her boyfriend, which is my grandpa. But no, it was like that. Mom had had enough, which is why we moved out to begin with. Yeah, which led us down the rabbit hole of going to Durant, which sucked. Living with Donald, which sucked. Here, which also sucked.
Yeah. I mean,
But like this, living in the apartment has been the best out of those three, despite how like mentally fucked I am right now.
I'm just like in the spot, right? Like she's not biological, but she's the only grandmother I have left or grandparent I have left alive that I know about. Because I don't know anything about my dad's side. Because well, I hardly talk to my dad, and I haven't seen his parents in a long time, and those aren't even biological because my dad's adopted.
Oof,
So
I haven't had any connection to my adoptive dad's side of the family except for my brother.
yeah, so like I know that his father passed away to bone cancer, and I don't know anything about his mother, you know. But I'm not talking about his biological father, right? Because I don't know his biological parents, just the ones I met before. So I know nothing about the mother, and I just know that I'll never see the father ever again. And the last time I saw him, my grandfather was like 7 years old at oldest, I think, when I was on like a trip to Bloomington. So literally the only grandparent I have left is probably the shittiest like person who we had around. Like she's still family, but she's like a shitty person, like for what she tried to do, like to my brother, to our family, because she's manipulative and she hurt my mother's feelings multiple times. I don't fuck with that.
See, well, I went through I would say a very similar situation. I don't hold my grandma to that. I don't think she was a bad person. She just really didn't have priorities properly, and after she fucked up not really taking care of my mom or my mom's brother, she did try to make up with me and my brother, which I understand, I get it. But she very much overstepped, and when she died, I still got many regrets. I haven't been able to unload.
Yeah, and then there's like a reason why I still hold to that fact that she's still family to me, because, well, she's still family, like, in general, because she married my grandfather, who I lost to Alzheimer's. That fucking sucked. That fucking sucked. Because he was, like, the only father figure I had, like, the only real father figure I had in my life, and I hardly got a chance to connect with them, because I didn't mature fast enough.
Right.
Because I was young when he died. I was, like, maybe, like, 12, 13 years old. Maybe 14? No, like 14, 15. I think it was like, I think sophomore or junior year, and then I think it was like April. Believe it was April.
I wish my grandma had a grave I could go to, but I can't, 'cause she's cremated all the way in one of the Carolinas.
Well, even cremated people get a grave.
I don't think she has one here. In the state. I don't think she has one in general.
Well, that's kind of shitty. I think everybody should have a grave. That way you can go, that way that her family could remember her. Or visit her.
No, I don't think she really wanted that.
Oh.
She didn't even want us going to see her in hospice because she was so worried about how she looked to, like, how she looked to other people, which again was one of the traits about her I very much disliked. Her personal image was more important than anything to her. Okay, I don't say that. It was one of her top priorities.
I can understand.
Like, me and my brother.
I can understand her way of thinking, because she doesn't want you guys to see her like that, because she doesn't want to make you guys all sad. I think that's what it is, really.
That was part of it, but she's always been like that. She's always put her public image before
self-centric
most anything.
And wanting to look good.
That was part of. I think that was a big issue with her being like not taking care of my mom and her brother. That, and constant drinking, which Donald did, which was the biggest reason why living there was a fucking nightmare, because he did the exact same shit that my mom had done to her, to his kid, and man, God, it was awful.
Yeah, I don't even remember what year in high school was Donald around anyway. Wasn't it like junior or was it sophomore?
This was like 7th grade to senior.
Oh yeah, long ass time.
Longer than we should have.
Correct. Well, and that's all on decision making on your mom's part, really.
She's sacrificed a lot. She really has. Because she's miserable in this town. The only reason we stayed was for me and Ethan to go to Rockridge, because it was the first school both of us actually liked at the same time. Because I don't think he liked going to Hillcrest. And then we moved to Durant, which he liked, but I disliked Durant because I had bullying issues there.
You hated Durant. I remember you telling me about that. Everybody who you were around was like this elite Minecraft gamer or whatever.
No, it wasn't. No, that was not the issue.
Well, you told me about that, but
I was also a Minecraft gamer. That was when Minecraft was good.
Oh yeah,
the first time it was good. No, I just had bullying issues. It was small town, but it was still very cliquey, even around like middle school. And since I was an outsider, I didn't really fit in. And then we moved out to here, and I met people I genuinely cared about. That's changed gradually, and I've lost a lot of people, but
that always happens with high school.
I know, like I've still got people here. Like I've got Sam, I've got Caitlin, I've got Nathaniel. Like I've got people here I still care about.
Yeah, you got the boys. That's all you need from high school, really, is like the real boys who you stuck with.
Yeah.
Not the people who you forgot the secrets of, who you are really good at keeping secrets from because you just forget about them.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
I've forgotten probably a good chunk of secrets you told me. I'm gonna be fully honest.
Don't even remember if I told you any secrets, dude.
Exactly. So it's not even on me for forgetting, because everyone forgets, because at some point it doesn't matter.
I don't think I had secrets, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think you were. It was more people like Alexis.
I
but-
was open as fuck. I didn't care. Well, I mean, it's like my personality. I don't give a fuck, you know. Like, I'm gonna be open, and if you think less of me, then I don't want you. It's just the personality of being a fucking stud.
Yeah.
Unironically, you know, like I know that's my name, you know, Stud Master G. I have it tattooed on my fingers even,
No.
but it's just cause like that's just how I am, dude. Like, I stick to that personality, like so well, cause it is me.
Yeah. I've had a lot of information on people. I feel like bad because part of the reason I like having that is I'm always paranoid that someone's gonna try to like fuck with me in some way, in a way that's like has a lasting effect. So I have the mentality that defensive blackmail should be my go-to way of protection.
Defensive blackmail. I don't remember what you did then specific for that. If you did it, I don't even think you did it with me. I'm just trying to remember like who you did it with and how you did it in general.
Oh, I didn't like it, and that's not my reason for listening to people. I do genuinely care about people's problems and all that.
Oh, I know.
But if a situation arises,
because you went like out of your way for all these like females.
I was very close with a lot of them.
Oh, I know. Like you were either interested, like you liked them, you know, Alexis, or you had like Jocelyn or Caitlyn. Those two were like genuine friends, I thought. Like from what I saw.
Yeah.
Not friends of mine, but
Jocelyn's kind of her. She's an interesting character. If I can keep her away from her political side, then I can definitely get along with her.
yeah,
She
I
just
don't
gets annoying with it.
particularly agree with a lot of her standpoints, and I don't think she likes me as a person, or at least doesn't care much, and I don't care much either. She doesn't.
I don't care for the standpoint. I just don't like her. I don't know. I just don't like it when she gets into it. I don't want the way
She
talks about
does,
it.
and it's just like, who the fuck asks, you know? Nobody wants you.
Exactly.
Nobody's asking for you to get into this. We don't want to talk
Right.
about this.
Yeah, I feel like she's kind of close-minded when it comes to that stuff.
Absolutely, she's closed-minded.
But I feel like I could say that about a lot of people. I think a lot of people are very straight-minded on their politics, with like a little bit of wiggle room, but not a lot. Unless
I am personally, me personally, I'm libertarian, so like I'm a little bit further to the right, you know, but so I'm open-minded to both sides, and I want to allow myself to have my mind be changed by somebody on like the radical left or a little bit further on the left than me on certain like topics, and I just can't get convinced, you know, from other people's arguments. They just don't make enough sense from my experience.
I mean, fair. I'm like moderate left, so I get.
I disagree. I not disagree. I just agree like a lot in general with like Steven Crowder. You know, like him as he's he's genuinely he's a great guy. You know, like in terms of like
I would hope so.
Like qualities, like he's got like great like personality qualities. You know, like. But like a lot of people like on the left side will take him the wrong way because they think that he's like trying to be rude or trying to offend people with his like statements. But he's literally using his freedom of speech in the correct way possible.
There's a reason I'm not radical left. I'm only moderate. It's because of the whole fucking the left side's abuse of cancel culture and the basically the revocal of the First Amendment when they use it.
Exactly, dude. Like they're not even like utilizing it, and that's the thing, right? Like they claim to be like pro this, pro that, and in reality, they're personal beliefs or their argument ends up being completely opposite in practice. You know, like I mean, it's for example, like BLM. That's a very touchy. It's a very touchy subject. You know, because a lot of people will take it the wrong way. Because like if people say that they're against BLM, then the people on the other side will think on like, oh, you hate black people, you know, or you hate, or you're racist, you know, like that's not what it is at all. Number one, at least with me, you know, like a lot of people like on with my beliefs, we like to think that I don't necessarily like to think that we should have a movement. I think that if you are going to have a movement of Black Lives Matter, then you should title it Black Lives Matter 2. You know? Or All Lives Matter. Or just don't make any movement. It's not necessary.
I think there needs to be a small movement.
The fuck's the movement gonna do, bro? Like,
I think a lot of people, especially in higher like positions, do have implicit bias, and there's gonna be either quota filling or just the lack of even allowing them because of implicit bias. Not everywhere.
Well, when it comes to practice, okay, when it comes to putting these movements to practice in our society, it all comes down to quote-unquote peaceful protests, which end up turning into riots.
That's what happened here. I'm for the cause, but not the means they went through. I'll put it that way. That's how I've thought about it for a good long while. What they stand for is fine, but the way they're going about it is not fine.
Well, that's where they're wrong, you know?
Yeah, it's the means, man. The means.
Well, and then I think it's blatant racism, or blatant, it's blatant racism. We try to glorify one race over the other, or think that one is superior. It's literally the definition of racism, and that's what Black Lives Matter seems to do. They put you know, African Americans on the fucking pedestal. And I disagree with that. I don't think any race should be on the fucking pedestal. We're all humans, bro. Can't we all just fucking hate each other equally? Come on, dude. Like, the world's a fucking joke. Just laugh at everybody.
Everyone's a piece of shit. Fuck you all. Equally. Fuck you all equally.
That's right.
No, I mean, I think I have that mindset. Where I don't think we should put them on a pedestal. I think that's overcompensating. Like, yeah, they went through hell and back.
Everybody went through hell and back, dude. That's the thing. Is that they fail to acknowledge what everybody else went through. Like, yeah,
all over.
In this day and age, there is a little bit more Asian hate than before because of the coronavirus, and that's been a thing for probably a year and a half now, I would say. Where Asian people literally get assaulted in the streets because of the virus, because people on the far radical right, you know, the retards, so they'll literally assault somebody on the street because of their race. Oh, your people brought the fucking virus here.
Fucking,
you know,
radical right-tards.
Exactly.
Radical right-tard. Alright, fuck pussy candle, I'm a radical right-tard now.
I like that a lot. I want to see that change happen. I mean, it's just, all of it's ridiculous, you know? It's the same thing as saying fuck white people, you know? You're literally being racist.
Yeah,
but you're
I mean, against white people. That's not true.
I mean, you're being racist and an act to not be racist. It doesn't make any logical sense in practice.
That's why I can't imagine like radical on either side. Just makes no logical sense.
Nope, nobody should be. No, I think that nobody should be radical. I think that the right way of thinking is being open-minded and leaning to one side, because you know what you believe in, and you know what's morally right or logically
I would
right.
To be in the middle, but I think I lean left because a lot of I think for the most part I'm open-minded about the whole transgender bullshit, and multiple genders thing.
Mm,
There are definitely some that are
see,
unrealistic. I can
okay.
agree with that.
Okay,
But I can
so
definitely agree with more than just the two. I think
I
that's fine
watched.
because gender's more socially based as opposed to biological.
I don't think that's right either. Personally, like, I mean, I watched one of the videos. There are only two genders. Changed my mind. You know, that's like one of the most notorious videos ever. You know about it. Everyone here knows about it. You know, but all the arguments, and I could tell like from how the people from the left were portraying their beliefs. It all came from like feelings trumping their logical thinking. And so one of the arguments of multiple genders, you know, is that Canada officially allows the third gender to exist, which is transgender, right? Like on paper,
Right.
but worldwide, yeah, and biologically, there are only actually like two different ways to be born, and there's only two ways to identify yourself legally on paper: male or female.
Two regular ways because you do
No,
'cause
two
there
actual
are
ways.
No, because there are like hermaphrodites and shit who are born with both parts, or there's
Okay.
people with other
Yeah,
like.
but
There's
we can't-
there's a
you can't-
difference where sometimes it's mutations, sometimes it's just you're just.
But that's
odd
the
one
thing. That's only 0.2% of the population.
out. Right? But they still exist, and I think
Yes,
it's
and
that I agree that's a minority that should exist. Like I think
it's not.
transgender
well-
is fine, gender fluid is fine, but when you get into shit like aerogender, which I don't know what the hell that means.
Asexual.
Right,
I don't know, dude. Pansexual. It's all weird.
Asexual and pansexual, those make sense. Pansexual is complete.
No, it really. I mean,
difference
to
between-
me, my
I can
definition.
tell you difference.
My definition, like, well, not my definition. The definition of asexuality is different ways of different means of reproduction, and that we don't even like perform. We don't practice those ways of reproduction, bro. We practice like
That's
the
asexual
regular.
reproduction.
We practice sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, we don't practice that. So why are we using that terminology as a fucking
they
gender?
Asexual. It's because human asexuality isn't based on reproduction. It's based on the lack of desire to have that interaction with anybody.
But let's focus more on like the intersex
Like,
that you just mentioned. You mentioned intersex. So everybody who's born intersex, you know, they're born with both genitalia. Like in some cases, it's both genitalia. In some cases, it's like one of something and one of another. You know, like a guy with tits or something. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? But
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
But the thing is that every intersex person always has more qualities or more, I guess, chromosomes than somebody or than the other. So, like, let me give you an example. Like, somebody who's born intersex has a penis and a vagina, but then, or no, like a woman is born because they're identified as a woman because there's only a vagina scene, but they have testes on the inside. And so at birth, the doctor surgically removes the testes that are inside. Because in reality, it's a lot more of a woman than a man. It's just a defect that's being fixed.
Biologically.
It's a defect, bro. Well, that's the thing. Biologically.
There's a limit to where there's a line where you split gender and sex, but they do overlap.
I don't. Not for me, bro. I don't think so. I don't think that gender and sex can be.
The key thing is, just because they're not split for you doesn't mean that they're not split for other people. That's the key thing. Other people have a different experience than you.
Like, I can get why you wouldn't want to make the split.
I get
to me personally,
okay.
I understand the split because I don't think I'm like a very masculine guy.
I see what
I'm
you're
not
saying.
really
Sorry.
feminine
Okay.
Either. I'm okay with being a man because that's what I've grown up with. That's kind of how I am. But like, I have no issue if someone genuinely thinks they're born in the wrong body. Test them for what is it? Gender dysphoria.
Gender dysphoria? No.
There is a line there. I don't know what it is.
Let me help you out here because I know what you mean when you say gender dysphoria. So gender dysphoria was actually on the spectrum of mental disorders. A few years ago, like I think it was 2015, 2016, if I'm not mistaken, and in around like 2018, it was removed and classified as transgender because
So
I mean
gender
I don't.
dysphoria is a
It's-
mental disorder. Being
Yeah, there's a
transgender
difference.
is not.
There's
There is
a difference,
there.
but I
Yeah.
don't know where you draw that
But
line.
people mix
When
them up all the
people
time.
transition, they no longer have gender dysphoria
Gotcha. Well,
because their body they transition so that their body matches their mind, so their dysphoria goes away. But
So, like,
while
it's-
you
it's
have
still,
the
like-
dysphoria, that is a disorder because that affects your life.
Right. I mean,
But
I
you
still
can't
think you
say
can be
being
transgender without.
transgender
I mean,
is
it's
a
like-
disorder without saying that the other gender is a disorder.
if when you transition or when somebody transitions, I think that it's like that dysphoria just taking over you, and that you just embrace it. Really, that's the way I think of it. If I'm wrong, like I want to be proven wrong. You know, like I want to be known that if I'm wrong, you know, I want it to be obvious. That's why I'm open-minded in this discussion, finding common ground in this discussion, and rationally speaking, you know, on common ground.
I can
think that's
kind
the
of
most
see where
important
you're
part.
thinking from, but I don't see that as a dysphoria taking over. That's a person making a choice whether to go against it and either force their mind to change or they're forcing their body to change. There's no
But-
giving in to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you choose the one you'd rather live with.
So that's the thing here, right? You go
That's
for,
what you do with any mental health issue.
so here's an example of that, right? Is a man turning into a woman. So it's literally going from one to the other, and when it comes to like official documents, you're gonna probably want to change that, or that person's
Yeah.
probably gonna want to change that.
They do change it on official
that's-
documents.
Yes, exactly. But my point is that there's not more than these two to choose from when it comes to like official documentation and in biology. Like you can only be a male or a female.
Technically, in a binary system, you can be one, the other, both, or neither. So there would be four options.
5
Well,
if you want to split
technically.
trans male
So,
and trans female.
That's where I get confused. Is like the binary part because I think that from
If
what
you're
I've
saying that
seen,
gender is not a binary system, then now you're opening it up to whatever gender you want, right? Other than the two. But in a binary system of just two, male and female, there's four options.
see, that's the thing is that we're putting this on a social construct.
Which
Well,
is
gender
what
is a
gender
social
is.
construct.
Gender
Gender
is
is
social.
completely made up. Gender is completely a social construct. It doesn't
Yeah,
mean anything.
That's
think
why we
personally-
split gender and sex.
That's
Yeah.
where
But
I
there's
that's where I
overlap.
split. That's where I split off personally. I think that gender is how you're born.
That's sex. That's the
That is
definition.
that
of
is
sex.
the definition of biological sex.
Well, gender.
Which-
I think that's how you are biologically, like in sex. But it's also how I think gender is how
Gender-
you are like documented.
Gender is
On your birth
gender is
certificate.
how you feel. Gender is how you feel.
Gender is
Biological
more
sex
emotional,
is
social.
what your chromosomes are. But gender is
Or-
basically how you feel about yourself. It's completely
So-
social construct.
It is.
When we discuss like different different countries that recognize this, so there's I think that there's only one, if I'm not mistaken, and that's Canada that recognizes more than two genders, which is the third with being transgender, right? Am I
Yeah.
wrong? So
Well,
why?
that's just
So
legal definitions. Legal definitions always play catch up compared to social
Yeah.
change.
yeah, I'm
And
personally
it's
more.
not really that the transgender person is changing. It's that they have always been different mentally, and
Okay.
now they're coming out about it. They're not deciding to make a switch. What they're doing is they're deciding to tell you about it, which
Yeah,
is
okay,
not saying
so-
that they're different now. It's just saying that they're telling you that they've always been different.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they're hurting anybody. Like they're like.
Yeah, and that's the key thing. My opinion on it is they can do whatever the hell they want, as long as it's not affecting anybody, right? And it doesn't. It's just how they
Well,
want to live their life. So let them
yeah.
live their life however they want. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Let them
exactly.
identify however, because it doesn't affect anybody else. It just affects them.
Yeah,
So
and so I'm
if
talking more
if
of
you're
like
gonna
a
respect them how they want to be respected. You know.
yeah. I absolutely. So if well, so what about pronouns, right? Like, how are we like? Because if somebody has mistakenly pronouns
If
and they get
everybody in
offended
your
by
life started calling you a girl, how would you feel? Right? Like,
it, I wouldn't. I mean, they would be wrong because biologically I look like a male.
it doesn't matter. That's how the feeling that you would have that they're wrong, that they're biologically wrong. You know, that's how they feel about it when you misgender them. And for me,
Well,
it's all respect.
It's like
You can misgender someone all you want, and you know this. It's not like they can do anything about it. But
You're
it's
just
all
a
about
fucking
respect. Yeah, you're just not respecting them, which
well, and
you know is your thing, right?
it's a fairness thing to be honest, because when I see somebody who I think looks more like a female, I'm gonna refer to her as a she.
And that's
'Cause-
fine until they tell you differently.
Yes,
right?
yes. If they
bring
tell
it
me
up-
differently, I will
if you
respect their
become a
pronouns.
friend with them,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
if they become a
fine.
friend with you,
I'm perfectly
and
fine with
they
being.
come out to you that they want to go by something different, you know, then it's a respect thing whether or not you're going to
I'm
follow
perfect.
that.
I'm
If they get
perfectly
overly
fine with
offended
that.
by the first time you fuck up, then that's just on them for being assholes.
That's
Yeah,
That's just how that is.
Well,
And
that's-
every transgender person I've met, and I've met like a bunch of them, are
Yeah.
like that. The first time they don't care. They'll just say they'll either not say anything because they don't know very well, or they'll just say, "Hey, I go by you know another name or another pronoun." And they
I
go,
think that
you
most
either
people
go,
are like
"Okay,"
that.
or
like most people who are on the other on the different gender, different pronouns. Then I think like most of them are like that. I agree.
yeah, they're just
It's just
they
not
ju-
fair
just-
when
the huge thing
people who do
is-
get offended.
Yeah, they don't. They just want to live their life. You know, they don't want
Yeah.
to cause a scene or anything. They're just trying to live their life in
Yeah.
the way that makes them the most comfortable. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And well, I guess what I was going for really is like it's more on the legal side, and I think you guys could see that like from a mile away, because like that's
Yeah,
how
the
I think a
legal
lot.
side is always going to be behind, right?
Yeah.
It's always going to be behind. It's always going to have to play catch
Canada's just a bit more progressive than we are, which is fine. I personally think if it were up to me, I'd put 6 on the thing. I'd do male, like cisgender male, cisgender female, trans female, gender fluid, and then
So
a more PC version of hermaphrodite, because I don't know a
Well,
better word for that.
okay,
That's
okay.
just the word I'm using.
So
because I
no,
think that's
hermaphrodite is absolutely correct. No, you're okay. Like when somebody gets offended that you say hermaphrodite because like there's other terms. This is other terms, that people will
So
put
I don't
feelings
like
to.
the key
I
thing
don't-
in my
I don't like
opinion,
that.
the key thing in my opinion is it does not matter at all whatsoever if you know what's in another person's pants. You know that what's their sex does not matter in a social situation. So you're at that point you have to talk about
Well,
gender, and
It
you
only
have to have
it
the
only
options
it only
of
matters if
whatever they want.
if they try to put you down or blame you for for giving an improper pronoun. Like when they get offended,
That's
I
still-
think
It's still in no situation is any social discussion going to occur where you need to know what's in somebody's pants or what somebody's genetics is.
yeah.
Like
The only time
that's
you
between
need
them
to
and-
worry
Typically,
about
you're not going to need to know that stuff, right? Like
Yeah,
The only-
so
it really doesn't
The only
matter.
time
I
you need
agree.
that is if
I
you're
agree
one
there.
of them or if you're a doctor.
I agree. I agree there.
biological
Two reasons.
completely irrelevant.
I agree there. It doesn't matter. Like nobody
So
fucking
whatever
cares.
they label they want to use, they can use whatever label they want to use when it comes to gender, because gender is all in your head. Whether it conforms with the social norms of your sex or not, gender is all in your head, so you can identify in whatever way you want.
I understand, especially that that's what they think. Like I don't think that way personally, but
Yeah, so
I
you're
think
just
You're just a cisgender
you're just
male,
one
man.
of the people that is a cisgender male, right? It aligns with how you were assigned at birth, and
I
that's
just call
totally
myself
fine,
a male. I just personally call
Yeah.
myself a male.
I
Yeah.
think yeah, you're just a cisgendered male. You're mentally and physically a male. That's
I don't think about the word cisgender. I just think about the word male.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Because I don't apply gender to the mind.
That's
for the
exactly
sake of
what
getting
means.
into it, yeah, cisgender exists. But realistically, if you just call yourself a dude, you're a dude. Like, there doesn't have to be anything more to it.
That is the stereotypical norm. So that is, you know.
Just call yourself a dude.
But when you open up the
because we're on this
discussion,
topic, yeah.
When you open up the discussion to what's not normal, you know, then you have to talk in more specifics, you know.
Yeah, just get that clarification out there, just, you know, so people know what you're talking about and don't just assume because of a miscommunication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For there to be a different, you have to have a way to talk about the normal, right? So that's all cis is. Cis just means the normal, you know? So you can say cis or you could leave it off. It's for the most part assumed. But if you talk about trans, cis is the opposite. Cis is the normal, you know?
Got hella quiet for a second.
Oh, it did. I totally zoned out because I was like alt tabbing, looking on where to go for this fucking quest while also paying attention. So I'm like in the zone.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so I guess it's just interesting, right? That Canada does recognize its third gender, but no other country in the world does. You know what I mean?
We're working.
No,
on it.
like there's a lot of other countries.
Yeah.
So I
there's
think
definitely gonna
that
be countries fighting against it. Like,
well,
I would imagine the majority of Middle East is gonna be very just against that.
Well, and I think America too. Like America is very diverse, and
It depends
I
on where
think
you live.
America's either going to or it's not. It's
so. What do you guys think that they're gonna call it then? If they do define a third gender on this, like if they do identify a third gender in America, what do you think they're gonna call it?
I'd love to leave it as other, but I feel like people would have an issue with that, which I can understand.
I kind of agree with that, honestly.
Like, realistically, other is
you're not
fine,
well.
Other is good for now. I think
here's my argument for us wanting to not recognize it versus Canada recognizing it is that you're literally not born that way. That's not on your birth certificate. So for a whole country to recognize you as a different gender, it has to be legally documented. You know what I mean? Like, so you have to be. So you need to be born away with
these. To be legally documented?
Yeah,
why does gender have to be legally documented?
Because it's about identity. Like, it's a way of government knowing who you are, male or female.
And why can that not be changed? And why can that not be changed?
It can be changed to a female, or
like the name.
It can be changed to a female if you do transition.
The name of my original birth certificate is probably not the same as my current one because my mom remarried and I had my last name changed. Like, yeah, I'm probably going to change my name anyways. I'm going to have to go back and change my birth certificate again to match my new name.
What's going to be your new name, homie?
I don't know. I can live with the first name. I hate it, but I can live with it. I need to change my last name. I hate it. I hate associating it with my stepfather. Stepfather.
Gavin's going to change his first name to Chad.
Chad. I'm changing my first name to Stud before you can.
Whoa, dude. I have it tattooed on my finger, so screw you, boy.
Yeah, you can have my name tattooed on your hands, man.
Yeah, you stole your. Hey, you're
sleeping for me now, motherfucker.
Hey, dude, you literally basing your first name off of a tattoo of mine. How original.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's done that. Get fucked, nerd.
Yeah, no one else. I don't know anybody else who has the word stud tattooed on their body at all.
Bro, I just want to be the. Oh, fuck, what's that guy's name?
It's I think it's really cool to have that title. I think it's really cool to have that title or that recognition. That I'm the only one who really went bold enough to get the word stud tattooed on their hands or on their fingers.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of get that. I think in my head, I would associate the people who probably do use that aside from you are kind of like the. I like the guys who wear tap-out shirts and backwards hats. Like the Logan Lehmans of the world is what I picture.
Logan
that?
Lehman. Oh my goodness, dude.
Like, it's those kind of people I would.
He was a human being, man.
Yeah, not a great one.
Well, I didn't say he was a good one. I'm just saying he was a different person.
Yeah. Fairly decent manipulator.
Manipulator? I never saw him as that, to be honest.
Oh,
I never
no,
got
he
that
was-
from him.
He wasn't like a really bad one like Alexis, who like did it so often it was obvious.
Oh, I
he
never
definitely
gave.
knew-
I
he
never
definitely
gave
knew-
in. I never gave in to Alexis's ways. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I was love struck because I'm an idiot.
I liked her in like the 7th and like the 8th grade, and then I was over it.
Yeah, you were smart.
Well, yeah, because I found out the kind of person who she was, and I recognized that as somebody who I don't want to try and date, because you're not going to date somebody who you're just going to chase, because that's literally a one-sided relationship.
Yeah, I think
That's
part
not
of me
how.
always.
That's not how relationships work.
I feel like part of me is just like, I think eventually she'll break down, and it'll just happen.
Eventually,
Sim-
she'll think on the opposite side, and she'll actually like you.
She'll be like, huh, this dumb motherfucker actually stuck by me through all of my bullshit. Maybe he would be worth keeping around. That was my mentality. Oh my god, Simp Gavin was a dumbass. Ugh.
Indeed, he was. We won't deny that.
No. Simp Gavin made very, very poor life choices.
Correct. I'll vouch for that. Even
And
when
two
your
of them.
homie, aka me, tried to warn you about a certain other one, but then you're
See,
like, nope, I'm gonna try it, dude. I'm like, all right, go
It's-
for it, bro. Prove me
it's
wrong.
because of-
Do it.
It's because of Simp Gavin that I won't date bigger girls. Because it has nothing to do with how they look. All 3 bigger girls I've kind of seen in that way have been bad. There was Caitlin Morris, who she
think
kind of
that's-
emotionally broke me down.
Well, that's the thing, right? I think that typically, from my experience too, from both of our experience, they're typically going to be more, I guess, insecure about themselves, right? So they're going to break you down, they're going to try to manipulate you, and change your mindset completely, and try to
I just think
misdirect
she was
you.
a shitty person. I just think she was a shitty person.
Well, that too. I mean, they're going to be shitty people too, but like, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, there was Brandy. To be fair, Brandy made a solid attempt. That one was it wasn't actually meant to be. There was
That was
kind of
heck, bro. I'm not gonna lie, everybody was laughing. Like the
that's why
whole squad. The whole squad.
That's why I didn't tell anybody. You should have seen the way Alexis kind of blew up at me when she heard. She's like, "You didn't
I
fucking tell me."
know.
I'm like, "Would you have told me? Like, come on. Let me make my mistakes in peace." God. I mean, then there was Dee Dee, who was like overly attached.
I think you told me about every single girl you were with at the time.
Yeah, no, I tried to keep Brandy under wraps for obvious reasons. That was at a bad time in my life.
Well, because I think me and you both know that I wasn't going to try to like intervene ever again or just try to convince you otherwise. I just wanted you to learn for yourself, and you wanted to do the same thing.
I didn't learn. It's been after Caitlyn and Alexis, there's no more room for mean girls, and like in my actual dating life, I can still like the mean girl trope, for sure. But with someone who does that.
So your line of thinking here is that you're still wanting to find somebody in the long term, right?
Like, I think, like, you know how Nathaniel's so into who's the chick who plays April Ludgate from Parks and Rec?
I don't know. I don't watch that show,
kind
bro.
Of character, that kind of character, I think, can be attractive in its own right. I just can't do it for myself.
I never personally got into like deep.
I never watched it.
I never got deep or anything into The Office or Parks and Rec. I know that they were sometimes funny shows, right? Like objectively, they did really well.
Yes.
It's just I did never take time to get into it because I don't watch TV. I don't watch shows that often.
It takes a certain kind of humor for both, and there was one line from like the first season of The Office that kind of hit me at a really, really bad time. Because this was when Rose.
I laugh at shit posts on Instagram. Will it be humor from me?
So I don't think I've actually told you about this, but do you know that guy Rose dated in between the times me and her dated?
What
she
guy?
Dated me, then she dated some other guy, and then she dated me again.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about this, but he had like proposed to her or something, and I think she said yes because I think she panicked.
Oh.
And
Suboptimal.
Yeah, and there's this. I don't know if the other two guys here have seen The Office, but there was this scene.
I
where,
think everybody has, to be honest.
Yeah, they're on this scene in the boat, and Jim and fuck, who's the boss again? Michael Scott. They were talking.
Yes.
About Pam being married to the warehouse guy. I don't remember his name. And like, one of the lines was like, "They're engaged, not married," or something like that. And at that time, when I was still crazy about Rose, that hit differently. That hit something special in me that I don't want to be hit again.
Well, that's the thing, right? I think I'm still right about this. You're still looking for somebody in the long term. And
not currently, but yes.
Well, I just mean in general, like when you want to, because you always tell me about how you get lonely, right? You want to talk to somebody, you want to meet a girl, but you don't actually take the time to meet these girls, like I keep suggesting you to do, and you want to meet them the natural way. I get that, but it's not going to happen when you don't leave the house, you don't work. You know what I mean? Or you don't.
I know.
Or you'll do the things that I do, which is online shit.
See, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my life kind of in order before I even think about that legitimately.
Well, and that's the thing, right? I wanted to suggest to you of doing what I'm doing and just only looking for short-term or hookups and just not caring for like long-term and making that clear, you know?
See, that sounds all good, but that really just isn't me. I'm not that kind of guy.
I just don't see like anything. There's nothing actually like wrong with it because nobody gets nobody gets hurt, you know.
Right. It's not that there's an issue wrong with it. It just doesn't align with how I emotionally am. I'm not against it. I definitely try it, but realistically, that's not at all in my personality. That's not in my nature to do that kind of thing.
I gotcha. Well, it can be your nature if you want it to be. It's all a mindset. So, like, biologically...
God, I hate it when you say that. I hate it when you say that.
Well, no, it's true. It's legitimately true. Like, it's...
I think you're right for some things, but not every time you say that.
No.
Right.
Like, you just don't see it like I do. That's the thing. Your vision is not necessarily directed in the same path as mine is. And so I'm trying to open you up to that way of thinking. And so,
I know.
And that's just a thing of being open, right? You gotta be able to see it, and like you gotta be able to try it, and you gotta be able to tell yourself, evaluate, like, hey, this is for me at this time in my life, but maybe not later, or this isn't for me now. You know, it's all about just trying shit out.
I know, but I don't like the idea that everything in your head is just a mindset, because
I joke about a lot of things being a mindset. And I think you already knew that. I don't genuinely mean most of the things that I say is a mindset. I think that this specific instance is literally what you want it to be. And it's how I'm making it out to be, because that's what I want it to be in my life, you know? When it comes to dating. Personally, you know, like it's just how I want it to be. Just no strings no strings attached. I mean, if I find someone, then I find someone, right? But, like, I don't have hope. And I think that's not going to happen, at least for a while. So, I'm just not going to... You're not supposed to look for love. I don't know if anybody ever told you that. But you're not supposed to actually look for it.
Anytime I've looked for it, I haven't gotten anything good.
Correct. Because when you look for it, you try to force it.
No, because the only reason I got with Rose is because she had mentioned that she liked me, like, legitimately. Like,
well, but did you like her back?
Yeah, no. At that
how was the feelings? Was every single feeling mutual?
Okay, I'll tell you this. At that time, that was the time I had a crush on Sam.
Okay.
This was forever ago.
Okay.
Before I was as close with Sam now, and I know better.
Yeah.
God, I hate saying it. I say that because it makes her sound like she's bad. That's not the case.
No.
There's
I
just
understand.
not
It was
that
just your way of
compatibility.
thinking at the time, and you can't blame yourself for that. You
No,
know?
I didn't want these other two guys to get the wrong idea. I love Sam to death, just not in that way.
Yeah.
No, but I was into her at the time, and like I had started liking Rose more and more, and they were like kind of close, but Sam was still kind of there until Rose had said that. Then my mind just hit a switch. It's like, oh hey, let's just roll with this, and so far it's been one of the best decisions I've had. As much as I have some regrets about the relationship, I don't regret the relationship as a whole. Either time, I think both times were good.
When it comes to dating, you shouldn't ever rush into it like that. That's what makes it a good relationship versus a permanent relationship from a temporary relationship.
I didn't rush into it. Like I had started gradually liking her for like a couple months at that point.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's why it went as well as it did.
When she overtook Sam, is what I meant.
That's why your relationship was better than mine did with Savannah. Because I just said I don't care, man. I just want to do what I can, but I didn't take it out the right way. So I just dove right into like what she thought was gonna be a long-term relationship, but I didn't plan for it to be. You know what I mean? And so I didn't make that clear. You know, that's kind of important. You have to make that clear, and you have to think it yourself too, that you don't want a long-term relationship with somebody you literally just met. There's no such thing as love at first sight. I don't believe it. It's not a thing. You have to get to know you have to get to know somebody first before you just dive straight into loving them.
See, I mostly agree with you, but I think sometimes you can have a gut feeling of if this were to happen. If you're clairvoyant,
then sure. Like you have a good feeling immediately. Because I personally am. I am.
I had that with Rose. I legit the first time I met her, I'm like, I just had this gut feeling like she's gonna be important to me in some fucking way.
Well, and that's the thing. So you had a good feeling about her, so you went about the correct way. What I mean is love.
Christian at the time.
When I'm talking about love at first sight, I'm talking about the actual definition of love is saying I love you, them saying that they love you. You know what I mean?
No, I get what you mean, and I agree with you on that. I'm just saying I don't want to dismiss the idea of it as a whole.
I can absolutely agree that you can have a good gut feeling about somebody when you first meet them.
Yeah, I want to call it love, but it's something within the realm of
I
love,
experienced a feeling like, so the way I look at that is when you have a good gut feeling about something, like I look at it as having a good feeling about people in general who I meet. So the boys, girls, everybody. So like when it comes to girls, you know, it's what we just discussed, but when it comes to meeting the homies, I'll have a gut feeling of I don't want to fuck with this person because they don't seem cool.
I know. It just in my head, Rose's was just, it stood out because it wasn't unique. Like I haven't had that with anybody else.
Yeah.
Like I've met with other people probably more than I could with her, but I don't know. I that makes me believe in some aspect of love at first sight, just not the Hollywoodized version of it, I guess.
Well, Hollywood isn't real. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you right now.
I know it's not real, and I don't believe
it's to not believe it. Yeah. So we're already on the same page here. Fantastic.
We were just kind of fucking retards about getting on the agreement that we were on the same page.
No, we were already on the agreement.
we were on the same page, but we were just like dancing around it instead of just being like, yeah, we actually are at the same place.
Well, that's what discussion is.
I know. I don't know. I find that funny that it just took us like an extra 20 seconds to get to the point we were already at.
Yeah.
Oh, rip. Everyone got sick of our bullshit.
Star says, "Fuck this." They're talking about women, talking about multiple genders. Fuck this. I just want to play World of Warcraft.
I just want to watch some Pokemon.
Well, I knew that once we started discussing shit, not everybody was gonna say. They're touchy subjects.
Well, Sauce was deafened, Monk was muted, so I just expected those two. And it is like 4:30 where I'm at. So I was like, it's a matter of time. I just wasn't expecting people to be so quiet.
Yeah. I was hoping to have an open discussion with the whole group. Personally,
I like that. I like that Starcaller kind of joined in on the gender thing.
Oh, I'm so glad he did. That's what I was hoping that he would do.
Kind of, because he put things into words that I couldn't, but I had like the same kind of idea. I just never could say it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my mind still hasn't changed personally from either of the arguments, but I can at least see. But I am at least grateful that the boys can get on a rational discussion about this and find common ground.
Well, I don't know. It seemed like you were kind of feeling more towards the like. I think you're slowly making the separation from gender and sex, but you're still like really focusing on the legal thing, which is fair. That's understandable.
I don't believe gender to be a mind thing personally.
Huh?
I don't believe gender to be a mind thing personally, because well, it's literally like how people identify you. Like, how am I if I'm looking into a crowd, or if I'm in a line? This is a better example. If I'm in a line of people, how am I
You're
going to
focusing on the physical aspect. That's
literally what it is. How am I supposed to identify somebody who is asexual in a group of people who are dressed normally?
Asexual isn't a gender. That's a sexuality.
Well, some people do think of it as a gender. How about pansexual then? Pansexual is a gender, isn't it?
That's the sexuality.
Oh yeah, for fucking pans. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. It just means I'm fucking on the stuff.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So here's the easy way to think about it. Pansexual is purely no care about what's in people's pants. You're just gonna have a good time reaching in there. Whereas bisexual is like I like more than one thing, but not quite everything.
No, bisexual is bisexual that you're attracted to both sides. Okay.
In a binary system, yes. But if you're
well, there's only two to identify. There's nothing else can be found in your pants other than a penis or a vagina. You're gonna be fucking one of the things.
Bet I can imagine someone else is born there with a fucking like actual antenna instead of a penis or a
Holy
vagina.
fuck, no. That's not a thing. No.
See, no, they're just born like a fucking Barbie doll. They have nothing there. What do you call that, huh? Get fucked, radical retard.
Let's look at their other qualities that they have, right? Let's see let's get a blood test.
I read something because there was thing like I read this. I don't know. I found this thing where someone went through like the different like kinds of biological male and female differences, and someone hold on, let's see if I can find it. Because it was like kind of a Reddit post, but it kind of made like it was actually thoughtful.
Fucking Reddit, bro.
I know. I was like, Reddit.
I don't
like how this goes.
I don't take Reddit seriously, dude.
I don't normally either. Normally, I just see like, it's a lot of dumb bullshit. But sometimes there's a diamond in the rough a couple times. No matter where you look, there's a couple of good League players in Iron. Okay.
I don't think that there are.
Well, yeah, because
You're not an Iron, my friend.
I might as well be. Anything below platinum is Iron. Change my mind.
Not systematically.
Shut up. It's basically the same.
I don't think so.
How many games do you have, and how hard do you one trick?
No, it's all about macro. It's all about whether you you play the game right or not.
I was popping a macro on that Sejuani game. They just had too many kills.
If you were popping the macro, you would have won the game.
I was pop. I didn't have actual teammates who could follow up on anything.
Macro, not micro. I don't mean the 1v1s, and I don't mean your champion's mechanics. I mean
I
the
was
whole
getting
game.
objectives. I was pushing towers. So my fucking Yorick was splitting like a madman.
Sweet
didn't matter.
Jeebus, I'm being chased by 3 trolls, dude. Look at these Trundle mains, bro.
I don't know. I don't want. No. This is only giving me. I want the one because it's. Oh, maybe this is it? Because this will just give me the different types of, like, chromosome sets. Wait, why is there... Wait, what? 6 kinds? Why are there 6 different sets of chromosomes? What the fuck is this? There's just X, there's XX, there's XXY, there's XY, there's XYY, XXXY. What the fuck is this?
I don't know if that's... I don't know whether that's legitimate.
Oh, it says XX and XY are the most common forms, but there's, okay, XYY, 1 out of 1,000. XXXY, 1 in 18,000 to 1 in 50,000.
Again, you can acknowledge the existence of the 0.5 percentile in the world, you know, but you can't use that as... You can't use 0.2% of the population as basis towards identifying a person. Because how are we supposed to know that somebody who literally looks like a female and physically has, you know, like their doctor knows that, you know, they're a female? How are we supposed to know that they were born with internal testes?
Gender is more about self-expression, in my opinion.
Can't we just express ourselves in other ways, like dressing up?
Not everyone wants to express that way. Like, I don't want to only wear... Again, I don't want to be the guy wearing backwards fucking baseball caps and wearing tap-out shirts to prove I have a penis. Like, to prove that I think of myself as a guy.
Oh, I don't even need to do that. I just literally... I just need to not change myself physically.
If I want to be a guy and if I feel like a guy, I can still wear a dress and I'm still a guy. Like, come on.
Well, no, I can still see in your features, like, I can see your masculine bone structure. I can tell that you're a man from your bone structure. That's easy. Well, bone structure and facial hair. Those are the key things to identify a male.
I mean, for the most part, I can kind of agree with that, yeah.
Oh, no.
I can't find those.
Literally, go look up a picture of trans women. They all have the same bone structure that you can see in a man. And it's disgusting.
I think it's disgusting if you haven't gotten yourself used to that.
Well, like, I'm not gonna date a fake woman, man.
I don't like that term. I don't think that's entirely accurate.
Well, no, it is accurate because they're not actually a woman. Like, you're not sticking your dick in a real vagina. You're sticking your dick in something artificially made.
I mean, I have my own reservations about dating a trans woman. Like,
are you going to?
Not by choice. Like, okay.
If they don't tell you, then that should be a crime, bro. That should be a crime. I think it should be a crime.
I think that's more just of a dick thing to do.
No, it's a crime because, like...
Is it a crime if you go home with a chick and she pulls out her penis? No, that's not a crime. I don't think that should be. It's just a dick thing for them to do.
I mean, literally, because it's going to be right there in the open.
Well, yeah. I still don't think that should be a crime. I think morally and or socially they should tell you. But that's moral based. That's not. I don't think that's a legal grounds for anything.
Ah, yes. I throw my dagger at him for 5 damage. Let's go.
God, you do no fucking damage, man.
Are you watching this shit?
No, I'm watching Pokemon Black with no XP.
Just realizing that I can't even aggro this guy without aggroing the other guy, even though I'm far as fuck away. But
Commandant, you are the spirit of Commandant Ninja Pool now.
I am, dude. As a rogue. So what I'm doing is trying to kill these fuckers one by one.
Oh, so what I'm hearing is Commandant Ninja Polling, but as a ninja.
Correct.
There
Ninja
you go.
pull. Ninja pull. Why is my dagger on 5 durability?
You know what? I think I would date/sleep with a trans woman, but I would much prefer a natural born woman.
So when you sleep with a trans woman, you're actually sleeping with a man.
If
If you think about it like that, and it is correct, then you'll probably think to yourself, I don't want to sleep with a trans woman.
That's you calling it correct. I don't. If they've
Dude,
gone
you're
through the
literally
transition and they
it's
mentally
literally
think
a
they are
man,
fine.
bro. Like you're fucking the inverted penis.
If it works, man.
Look, if you call boy pussy, then I mean I'm not gonna stop you.
Hey, we all fucking the pussy out here. Let's go.
Gosh dang it, man.
You know, hey, I would rather fuck a trans woman than a furry. Okay.
Mm.
Would you rather fuck a trans woman or a furry?
Can I say no?
No, you cannot.
So I'm getting raped, okay? And I have a choice between somebody who's dressed up as a fursuit. Okay, is this a female furry? That's important.
Sure.
Am I fucking
We'll
fur?
s-
Okay. I'll choose the furry because it's pussy. Not now. Now.
I couldn't do that.
Look,
No,
Look.
I have to pick the other one.
I can't pick the trans woman because that's not a woman. And I can't live my life knowing I had sex with a man.
Why is that such a bad thing? Actually,
I'm not
I'm not
gay.
judging you.
I mean, I'm just not gay. I just don't want to do it.
Why is that like the thing that'll haunt you all throughout your life? Why can't you just be like,
It won't.
I tried?
Well, I mean,
and
it
wasn't
wouldn't
for me."
necessarily haunt me. We're talking in a very like specific hypothetical here, right? If I'm gonna get molested, but would I prefer to be molested by a man, or do you prefer to be like literally a man dressed as a woman and going through this change physically to have their penis inverted? You know, or would I rather get raped by somebody who dresses as an animal, but this person is actually a female? So at
And
least
probably has a lot of fucking hairy fucking pubes from all her other furry orgy members stuck in
no, I mean I'm not gonna think about that.
there. I would. That's exactly the thing that comes to my mind when I think of furry. I think fucking disgusting orgy leftovers, regardless of what's in there.
Probably hasn't showered in like a couple weeks, bro.
Oh yeah, like that's that. Because I know trans women will take care of themselves. That's to me the choice is obviously a trans woman is way better, without a doubt. I mean, to be honest, I don't think I'd really, as long as it's consensual sex, I don't think I'd care too much about having sex with a guy. I just wouldn't be into it. But that's me. That's not something I really overly care about, as long as it's consensual.
Oh my gosh, he has more attack speed than me. What the fuck? I just need a better weapon.
Just buy your Ginsus, man. Come on.
I just need a Ginsu's Raji blood. At a 5 combo eviscerate, that's supposed to deal between 67 and 75 damage, and I think I only hit the 67 mark. I'm literally like thinking like when we talk about this hypothetical, it's literally between do you want to have sex with a man or do you want to have sex with a woman? And I'm gonna choose to have sex with a woman.
I'm very anti-animal thing. That's just a big.
Well, you're not fucking an actual animal, but the idea is there, and I think that idea gets to your head more than the idea of fucking a man.
It is too close to bestiality for me to enjoy it. Where I don't care if I have a gay experience. If it's consensual, I mean.
Oh, I mean, that's all kinds of personal beliefs. Like
I'd give it a shot, but it's not something I'm gonna want to do all the time.
Yeah.
Because I think I realized recently, because I've thought about it, I think in my head, sexuality is like, it's always a preference thing. It's like, I'm straight, so I prefer females. But I'm not so, like, afraid of my sexuality that I'm not going to sleep with a guy. There's just no guys I want to. And I generally, in general, I don't like guys that way. I think that goes for anybody.
I just couldn't see you being with a guy, dude.
I can't see myself being with a guy either. But, like, I don't know, man. I've kind of just, every once in my life, I questioned it, like, am I really just straight, or am I just bi with poor choices? Like, am I straight, or am I just lacking any guys who I would consider sucking the dick of? Like, where am I really at here? Because that's very possible. There really haven't not been any guys I could be, like, really into. But I don't know. Maybe I just haven't had one that's struck my fancy.
Oh, this guy just fucking teleported on me.
Cool, he's the one. Give me his car. I'll suck the teleporting guys.
I just looted a green weapon, bro.
Nice.
Wait, did I really? It's a tomahawk. Oh no, it's an axe. I can't use axes. I'm so sad. Can I at least use it as a throwing axe? No, because throwing axes are counted as thrones and not as main hand axes, dude. Tragic.
Tragic.
I did employ the sneaky. Pickpocketing, 14 copper, backstabbing, 23 damage. Gouge him. Go behind him. Another backstab? Please, 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 please. Come on! Okay, I got it off. I got the backstab off. The backstab. Gouge, 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 gouge. Oh, he parried it, bro. I got him. I got him, dude. I got another green weapon, but it was a two-handed axe. You kidding me?
Raj.